Well, here it is time to be talking about TCU, and I'm finally getting around to doing my Sunday answers for Texas Tech. Let's just say that the best laid plans don't stand a chance against cats. With a little luck, we'll have a few days that are better. I'm also doing this without notes, so please bear with me when I sidestep more than usual. As I recall, one of my biggest questions was just how much Coach Brown would open the game for Marchiol. Well, it turns out pretty good bit. Although it didn't always look like it for various reasons, and we'll get into that. But we started the game with a rollout pass. Fairly easy pass, but one that gave Clement a chance to get to the first down. Had a quarterback run. Pretty good start to the drive. Didn't finish all that well. Next drive we had a really bad interception. And then we went to the run game. Now that run game, at least the first part of it, may have still been within the script that Coach Brown tends to start the game with. I think we had 12 runs in one pass or 11 runs in one pass and a touchdown. It was conservative overall, but it was successful. This gave time for Marchiol to get into the game, but the run game worked because we had already shown the pass. So Tech couldn't sit on the run. Now, along the way, during the game here, we had some downfield shots. We had an end around, a wide receiver pass, and quite a few rather interestingly designed plays, which I'm sure we'll be seeing again and seeing with variations. We did see the pass to Taylor that was used for the touchdown last week. This time used a little earlier on the field and went for a nice gain. It's a nicely designed play. And there are some things you can do off of that play that are going to give defensive problems. We have a good offensive design. Then the third quarter came along with wind, rain, and cold. And play calling got conservative on both sides, Tech and WVU. It didn't make sense to be throwing a lot of passes. And when teams threw the passes, they weren't that successful. That also allowed Tech to sit on the run to really pack the line. And the run game wasn't successful at that point. The fact that teams are, coming up to stop the run is hurting the running game. That's natural. Now, most of the time we're still doing well enough. And that's a credit. The offensive line isn't opening these gaping holes. Well, there's a reason for that. But they are still opening gaps. Most of the time. When the weather cleared, Tech opened their game. They scored. WVU opened their game. They scored. That was situational. Conservative, less conservative, it depended a lot on the situation. That's something coaches, good coaches, take into consideration even when fans don't. The deep pass to Horton was a good call. It didn't quite work. I think Horton misjudged it just a tad. I don't know if he thought he was going to get it or thought it was too far away. People who say he should have laid out just don't seem to understand that laying out is a very quick decision, and you can't always do it. The rhythm has to be there. I'm not sure why he did what he did, but I do not think it was lack of effort. But another step and the game is over. We've got the completion, we've got the touchdown. It made it a little more exciting. Kind of increasing the rate of heart problems for WVU fans, but we're still coming out on the right side of things. And when Tech got the 4th and 9, they converted. Previous years, against Tech or not, that would have been the point at which the game was lost. This year, the offense, the defense, and the coaches said, no thanks. And they found a way to win. The offense does need to get better. That's obvious, but they're not far from being better. There have been some reasons why things have not fallen into place for the offense the way they have for the defense. But those are adjustments, those are time and weather. But I like most of what's happening. Now, we do have a couple of things evidently going on with players who are planning to just, take a red shirt of their own choosing in preparation for hitting the portal. Don't know who they are. A lot of talk about who it might be. Reasons vary. There are some players who aren't getting as much time as they want and who may not expect to get time in the future, depending on who else is ahead of them. And there are a couple of other completely legit reasons why a couple of players might need to go someplace else. This is not, a failure of coaching or failure of culture. This is just things change and players sometimes have to make changes. We'll find out more as we go. And I will talk about that in other videos, I'm sure. On the defensive side of things, one question was whether or not the defensive backs could hold up with Tech's tempo. Well, the best way to beat that, it turns out, is to stop the tempo. Get the good plays on 1st and 2nd down. Keep Tech out of sync. There's still, guys in the defensive backfield and linebackers played almost all of the game. Spells got in for a little bit. Wilson Lamp is doing well on special teams. Hopefully that is still going to translate into being able to play corner successfully. But dang, even I didn't expect, some of what's happened on defense. I hoped for it. I knew Floyd was going to be good because I watched those last 4 games last season. He showed what was coming. And now as they're using him in a wider variety of ways, they're making, precise use of each of his talents. Beanie Bishop, Minnesota missed out on that now, didn't they? Malachi Ruffin is a gamer. Gotta like the kid. And I'm old enough, he's played football at WVU for 6 years, but I can still call him a kid because I've been around longer than 6 years. Burks, he's putting that Penn State game behind him, as should have been expected and, of course, was hoped for. Wilson, playing sharp. Cobb is out for the season like Miller. That sucks rocks. It's going to affect things long term just because of substitutes. They're already talking about getting freshmen ready this year. No one wanted to do that, but it looks like we'll have to. Good thing we got some talented freshmen in this class, as well as next year. But defense, if you talk about who had a big game, it's never just one guy. And it's not even just one layer of the defense. Hey, quick break here. Just asking you, please subscribe, comment, click the thumbs up, and share with your friends. Back to the video. The linebackers, the defensive backs. Every part of the defense is playing hard, fast, and sharp. I like it. I thought it could happen. I wasn't sure it was going to happen this well. Pretty much, aside from the injuries, everything you could have looked at and said it could go this way or that way, which the media and so-called experts were saying were all going to go wrong, are now all going right. And that's what the signs were pointing to. Make no mistake about that. These signs that this could and perhaps should happen were all there going back to the end of last year. But dang, it is coming together really well. It's just going to be maintaining it. Guys are going to get worn down, and heaven knows we cannot afford another injury, particularly not another season-ending injury. Offense, the receivers are still up and down. There are some reasons for that. I think, we're seeing good things. Everybody sucks sometimes. Taylor made a great play, then Taylor dropped one in the end zone. And I don't know what he saw because where he was reaching wasn't where the ball was. So, it happens. It just sucks if it happens too much. And I'm not faulting Taylor. That was just comes under the heading of one of those things. He's proven himself. We got to see Gallagher run hard. Okay, we're not yet seeing him catch the passes. But dang, when Coach Brown said he was tough, he wasn't lying, was he? He wasn't wrong. That end-around run showed the toughness. We got to see Ray throw a pass. I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card. Of course, we want to see him out there receiving more, but we got to see the pass. It's not a vanilla offense, people. We've got the options to allow these kind of calls now for the first time. And I think Chad Scott is just having a great time designing plays. He could probably get a job just sitting at home designing plays and not have to coach if he didn't want to. Now there's a potential job category. What do you want to be when you grow up? Marchiol will be fine. He's going to continue to make more mistakes than he should for a while. He wasn't bad with the exception of one really bad decision. One pass that slipped out when the weather conditions explain it. It just sucked that you lose a likely touchdown just because that was the time when the ball slipped and the wind and all of those things. But he's going to play well. Don't know if it'll be next week. Still, will Green be ready? I don't know. Coach Brown doesn't know. Green doesn't know. Now, Coach Brown has made it clear that if he's not healthy, he doesn't play, and we use the short bye for the extra healing and expect him back to beat the crap out of Houston. And I expect and want to beat the crap out of Houston. As long as Holgerson is there, I put Houston below Pitt. Now, but I liked most of the answers we got. The defense held up well against the tempo. And don't tell me it was because it was a second string quarterback. He's good. He beat the crap out of us last year. And we were playing our second string quarterback. Quarterbacks are looking bad partly because the defense is making them look bad. There's one of your answers. So, I know I'm rambling. I know there's special teams. There were some mistakes on kickoff return, But we finally have a punt return game. And, of course, we have a punter. So, we are going to win the special teams battle potentially every game here on out. Anybody who beats us on special teams is going to have to do quite an exceptional job. And that is a big deal. Okay. I probably have a number of things I've forgotten to mention. I haven't gotten into a lot of details about anything because I'm still frazzled. But I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to go think about the questions for TCU. And I'll try to get that video up, as well as finishing watching this week's press conferences. I only know a few things so far, so maybe there's more information out there waiting. But for those of you who truly hoped for and expected a good season and a good start, here we are. Yeah, we're rocking. Those of you who said that we would be 1-3 or 0-4 and wanted Brown fired, or those who still want him fired despite being 3-1, up yours. Get lost. Go root for somebody else. Learn the game. Get a life. You were wrong, and you are wrong. So, let's get ready for TCU. Let's beat TCU. And then we'll rest a bit and go beat Houston. Please subscribe, click that thumbs up button, comment, share, tell your friends, and I'll see you later. Now, what's up with the cats?